opening song. Unfortunately, the words are not up on the screen, but that's okay. Some of you know the songs. So please stand and sing, I Start My Day With Love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with your love. I meant one more. What? And I feel that sweet release, yeah.
Ooh, thank you. What a great way to start. Thanks, Michelle. Oh my goodness, you guys are fabulous. Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see everybody here on this happy Sunday, which happens to be Mother's Day, and welcome to people on Zoom and YouTube as well. It's always lovely. Today on Zoom, our practitioner is Georgia, and she will be working with everybody online. So if you need anything, please reach out to her. But I just want to take a moment as we start this morning. My name is Rev Tamara. I am the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living. But I just want to take a moment to acknowledge and know that I'm deeply honored and moved, and I express my heartfelt gratitude to the First Peoples for their enduring love and stewardship of this beautiful land. And with deep respect, I honor the privilege of living, loving, playing, and learning on these unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including Katsi, Kwantlen, Samiamu First Nations. We also acknowledge the many other Indigenous nations that are represented among Surrey's population. At CSL White Rock, our vision is to create a loving, vibrant world that works for all. So may this acknowledgement serve as a reminder for that, and that we are committed to moving forward with understanding, compassion, and harmony as we journey together towards a brighter future. I just want to take a moment, too, to say this week there's been a few things going on in the news. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the few headlines is the election of Pope Leo, and then there was also in the U.S. massive airport delays from overwhelmed air traffic controllers. And so we weave these stories into Mother's Day. So we're seeing a call for spiritual, I'll put my glasses on so I can read what I wrote here, spiritual guidance. As the new Pope steps into a role of global spiritual direction, like a divine traffic controller, helping people navigate through uncertainty. At the same time, real-life air traffic systems faltered, reminding us how quickly chaos sets in when guidance is unclear or overloaded. And then comes Mother's Day, a day to honor those who guide not with systems, but with love. Whether a parent, mentor, or spiritual elder, they're the ones who whisper, "You are not lost. You are loved. You're home." So in a world of noise and detours, this week reminds us we all need someone to help us land safely. So with that, I'll just one quote. There are only two lasting bequests we can hope to give our children. One is the roots, and the other is wings. That is from the Hody Center. So now I'd like to invite up our practitioner of the day, Jill, to lead us in meditation.
Thank you, Reverend Tamara. That was absolutely beautiful. Just give ourselves a big hug of love and appreciation for the beautiful mother that birthed us, and the mothers that are here today, and all the mothers that may not be mothers in the one way, but they're mothers in other ways. Thank you. So today, let us just take a joint breath together. No, I'm not going to sing. So let us just take a breath together. And I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. And if not, just a soft gaze ahead. Taking in this precious moment, this moment in time, this only moment that is. Breathing with ease and comfort. Recognizing that the breath that we take is the breath of life itself, living through each and every one of us here. And let us find that stillness at the center of our heart, in quiet and stillness. Today I'm going to do a reading from Ernest Holmes. I think I've done this one before, but it's one of my favorites. The friend within you is infinite. The friend within you is infinite. And since it is infinite, it is not limited by previous experiences which you may have had, neither present conditions nor passing situations. It has no inherited tendencies of evil, lack, or limitation. It has never been caught in the mesh of circumstances. It has never been caught in the mesh of circumstances. It is at all times radiant, free, and happy. It is your inner, absolute, and perfect self. Breathe into this beautiful inner absolute and perfect self with a capital S. The friend within you lives in a state of poise. It is above fear. It is beyond hurt. It is sufficient to itself. There can be no greater unity than exists between you and this inner friend. There can be no greater unity that exists between you and this inner friend. It spreads a table before you in the wilderness of human thought. Its cup of joy runs over. It laughs at disaster, triumphs over human failure, and mocks the grave. When this present experience shall be rolled up like a scroll, it will pass on to new and greater experiences. But today, this friend is here. Trust it then. Trust it then today, and you may trust it for all tomorrows yet to come. Possibly it can be difficult for you to believe that there is such a friend. But it is there at the very center of your being. It is at the very center of your being. It is at the center of your being, directing your thoughts and causing you to triumph over every defeat. For it is an unconquerable hero. The one who keeps silent watch within you. Lifts your consciousness to the realization that you are forever protected, forever safe, forever perfect. Namaste. And it is my joy to welcome back Michelle and this wonderful Eamonn. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a song called Sister's Keeper by Kim Hopper. And even though I'm singing about my sisters, I just wanted to say that I'm also singing for my brothers as well. So. It's not just accidental that our paths have crossed this way. I believe divine appointment brought us here today. 'Cause we all need each other, and we all need a hand. Together we can make it. Together we will stand. I will be my sister's keeper. If you fall, I'll lift you up while we walk this road together. I will keep you in my love. When life gets complicated, when faith is lost in fear, sisters stick together through the laughter and the tears. And when you need a shoulder, I will be a friend to carry you and pray for you until our journey's end. I will be my sister's keeper. If you fall, I'll lift you up while we walk this road together. I will keep you in my love. And though our lives are different, we share a common bond. Our humanity makes us family, and family makes us strong. Our sisters make us strong. I will be my sister's keeper. If you fall, I'll lift you up while we walk this road together. I will keep you in my love while we walk this road together. I will keep you in my love. I will keep you in my love. Thank you.
Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you. We're so fortunate to have Michelle Briggs and Eamonn Morris with us this morning. Thank you. Just grab a sip of water here. So, this morning, we're talking about boundaries. Boundaries, honoring the divine within. And, you know, that divine within, which Jill just spoke so beautifully about, that friend within, that touching base with our self and with the divine that is there. And then that song, I love the line in that, Michelle, about what makes our humanity makes us family. And that's what we're here for, as a community, that we're here to join together as a, you know, that unity, that oneness, which we so believe here at the Center for Spiritual Living White Rock. So today we're diving into the sacred art of boundaries, not as walls, but as spiritual gates that honor the divine within. So I want to talk about boundaries in a little bit different way today, because I think there's right now in the pulp culture out there, it's you got to set your boundaries, you need boundaries for this, you have to have boundaries for that. And I'm like, well, is that really true? Do we need to set up boundaries? And if we do set up boundaries, what are they meant to do? Are they meant to keep everybody out? Or are they meant to keep me in? And when I say in, to keep me in alignment, in integrity, right? So what is it? Where are my boundaries? So it is the sacred line we draw to keep ourselves in alignment, in integrity, and in love. And boundaries are not meant as a punishment, but they are a preservation. They are the holy container which we thrive in. So the first time I had learned the difference between setting a boundary to control someone else and setting a boundary to protect my own peace is I'm going to talk about my grandmother, who I adored and I grew up with, and she was an alcoholic. So growing up in this environment, I knew when I became a mother that I did not want my children to experience what I went through growing up. But my grandmother and I were so close, and because she basically raised me, my mom had me when she was 17. So, right, so grandma was there as the backbone. And we would go, we had a little cabin down in Birch Bay, but my grandma would tend to have a little bit to drink while we were there. So I told her, I said, Grandma, I love you. I want to come down and spend time with you, with the kids. But if you're drinking, I can't do it. I just can't put my kids through that. So we came down. It's the middle of the night, 12 o'clock, and my grandma is blottoed. And I packed up the kids and left because I felt unsafe and I didn't want my children to experience that. But I didn't want to change. I realized I was trying to change who she was. She was going through whatever she was going through, so that was her decision to do what she did. But that was also my decision to keep myself and my family safe. And not that she would have hurt us or anything, but it was just a whole different experience for the kids. So I really felt that that was one of the first times that I put up one of those boundaries that was meant really for me. It wasn't, I didn't want her to change, but her behavior around us, but it was really up to her. But you know what? I only had to do that once, and that never happened again. Because the next time we came down, I said, Grandma, we know what happened last time. And she said yes. And it meant more to her to have us there than to continue on that path. So I was so fortunate with that. But that moment taught me boundaries are not, again, changing about somebody else. It was to honor myself. And that deeply spiritual practice, because the boundaries are expressions of self-love and respect. Really is what it is. And Science of Mind teaches us that the divine expression of the infinite, right, is worthy of love, dignity, and joy. So when I set my boundaries, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I matter. I matter. So it's how, you think of monks who live in a monastery. So in the monasteries, you go to most of them, and they have big walls built around them. But is that to keep us all out, or is that to keep them in? And the truth is, it is to keep them in, because they're not to keep the world out, but it's to hold that sacred space for what's inside. Silence is a boundary. Ritual is a boundary. Reverence is a boundary. So when I choose to take a step back from conflict and say no to something that depletes me, I'm choosing to protect what's sacred within me. And guess what? That's not selfish. That's spiritual maturity, right? That's not selfish. So Brené Brown says, the clearer and more respected the boundaries are, the higher the level of empathy and compassion for others. I have a higher level of empathy and compassion for others when I set my own boundaries, because then I'm keeping my container here. I'm taking time to nourish my soul, to nourish myself, and I know where I draw that line in the sand. And guess what? Sometimes I cross over it. Sometimes I decide, let's put my toe out, like the time I stayed with my grandma. That first time, I crossed over a boundary because I was worried that she was going to drink, but I'm like, no, I got to give it a chance. And it didn't work that time, but it worked the next time. So that is where we're able to stay within our integrity. So that also boundaries create a container for our spiritual practice, whether it's time for prayer, meditation, journaling, or just being still. Because without boundaries, the world rushes in and drowns out that divine whisper that is always speaking to us. That divine whisper that will tell us, will guide us. Oh, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get myself a little bit on the busy side. I can, right now it's an interesting time in our family. My father-in-law just had a stroke. My mom's moving in with us. My my son's off in Thailand, but I was very fortunate. He FaceTimed me this morning. So there's lots of things happening. My brother's going through some struggles. So I'm looking at the world right now through this lens of, okay, this could be really hard, or I can take time to nourish myself and I can walk through this a little easier with grace. And that's what I'm working on doing right now, is that practice of grace, that practice of taking time and being gentle with myself. How often I can beat myself up for, I should be doing more, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. But when I actually stop and breathe and rest, you know what? I'm a much nicer person. I'm not so cranky, right? So it's when I can stop and do that. Ernest Holmes, he said, we must not run away from the world, but we should all have some place in which we withdraw for prayer, for communion with Spirit, for contemplation of the divine reality. Right? A lot of things that happen in our life, yes, we're experiencing it in form, stories I'm telling myself about what is happening. Am I telling myself it's hard, or am I telling myself, and this too will pass, and I can walk through this? So, as going back to Brené Brown, when we have those boundaries and we can have more compassion for others, when we protect our inner space, we're able to listen deeper. And they create that container for us, because it is always there speaking to us. As Jill said earlier about that inner friend, it's always there. So I get asked sometimes, how do I deepen my spiritual life? And I like to offer this. Begin by protecting it. Taking time, slowing down, and knowing, set your time in the morning. I know for myself, I set my alarm an extra hour early so that I can get up before my husband does. Because I know as soon as he comes downstairs and starts making coffee and doing the thing, I get drawn into conversation, and then I put aside my spiritual practice. So for me, I make sure that I set up that time, I set up that container for myself so that I can face the day in the way that I want to. It's, going back to the monastery thought, it's the why monks take a vow of silence, and it's why mystics go into retreat. It's why we say no to some things so that we can say a deeper yes to our soul. And we think of boundaries in the way that boundaries, what are they? We often misunderstand boundaries as rejection, but in truth, they're how we stay connected to what matters, right? Is how we stay connected. So boundaries are an act of love. Boundaries are tools for spiritual education, evolution, and education for ourselves. And boundaries are a foundation for healthy relationships. So let's talk a little bit about boundaries and relationships, because I think that's what you hear a lot about. Well, we've got to set up, I don't like the way somebody's treating me, so I'm going to set up that boundary. But what is it that we really want? We want to be connected. We want to be close to other people. And so by setting up that boundary, but I'm behind the boundary going, okay, come closer, but I've got this boundary, this big wall. Almost think of it like a frontier, right? There's that place out there, and then people don't want to cross it. And I can energetically do that, stopping people. So it's making sure that I'm safe, but it's taking that time to really realize, what is the intention when I'm setting that boundary? What do I really, really want? And the thing is, it's that I want relationship. I I want to be in. And again, setting boundaries is important. If there's any kind of abuse, if there's any kind of you're being physically harmed or hurt, that's got to be a strong boundary for yourself to take care of. So there are times that you definitely need those strong boundaries, but there's also times that you can say, well, is this okay? Can I work through this? Can I have a conversation? Because I don't know about you, but today's Mother's Day. So there's a lot of sometimes family dynamics at Easter or Thanksgiving. Things happen and places come up within us that I get triggered. It's true. And then I pack up my toys and I move out of the sandbox because I want to go home. Thank you very much. I'm not playing anymore. But yet, is that really the best use of my energy? Or is it for me to breathe and take that step back? We're doing the shadow class right now with Reverend Michelle Wadley. And oh man, that is learning some things about looking at myself in different ways and looking at what are those triggers and realizing that those triggers are just there for me to heal. And that's what the thing is with relationships. If we get triggered and there's a place that we're like, oh my goodness, I got to set this really strong boundary, I can't do it, then that is maybe a place that I can look at to heal myself. There may be a place in there that I need to explore. And maybe there's a place in myself that I need to accept. Because sometimes what a vision that I'm seeing that's triggering me out there, if I think about it, I've actually behaved that way. I've probably behaved in a way, that isn't as respectful as I want to. So boundaries say that I love you and I love me. I will walk with you, but I will not betray myself in the process. I can be kind and clear, and I can be firm and loving. And that's how we stay in integrity and compassion, even in those hard moments. Especially with those, what I talked about, the family dynamics, where things can get a little charged. So there's I think of how I behaved at Thanksgiving last year with my mother-in-law. And, I admit I got super triggered. And I packed up my family. I said, that's it, we're done. We're out of here. And, at the end of the day, that wasn't super kind. She had just hosted this whole dinner, and she had done so much. So, working through with her afterwards I worked at apologizing. Unfortunately, it didn't land for her. And her and my our father-in-law split up, so now it's definitely out there, right? But now it's me learning, okay, next time something like that comes up, what am I going to do differently? Where am I going to change and share? And it's one of those things that sometimes things happen and we make maybe a misstep, or I make a misstep, not you. I did that. So it's taking responsibility and understanding where was I coming from at that point and what in me needed healing. And I realized it was the respect. It's respect. And I didn't show it to her, and I didn't feel it at the time. So that is something I can work on going forward. And there is a spiritual twist, is knowing that these boundaries, guess what? It's not for the outside. It's the internal work, where I just learning about what is a big trigger for me. So boundaries begin with consciousness, with noticing where I abandon myself. Maybe it's where I overgive, where I ignore that still small voice, and where I avoid rocking the boat. I mean, at Thanksgiving, I didn't avoid rocking the boat. I give it a big shove, right? I got it in motion. And that's okay, but it's realizing those times, where is it best for me to speak my truth, to say what's going on with me, but in that kind, clear, and firm way. So if you think of boundaries, boundaries, are not, I'm just looking where I put this here. Boundaries are act of love. So it's things that we don't want to put up a barrier for others to be close to us. We don't want to put up boundaries that will keep others away from us. We want to lean in and work with others. So if we are setting our boundaries, am I excluding others with my boundary, or am I including myself in my boundary? So think about that. When you've set a boundary before, if you have a boundary that you've set recently, is it excluding others? Or are you finally including yourself? So this week I want you to reflect on these questions. Where in my life are boundaries needed? Where in your life are boundaries needed right now? Maybe you could say, think about what drains you. Or what nourishes you. Do you have any conversations that you're avoiding and that actually may need clarifying? So just remind yourself when you're thinking about these things this week and journaling on it, that boundaries are not the end of love. They're the beginning of real love. A love that is honest, a love that is awake, and a love that is spiritually grounded. So today, this week, I encourage you to use this affirmation. I honor myself by setting boundaries that nurture my well-being. I walk in love, I speak with clarity, and I live in truth. Right? It's allowing us to speak our truth. So there's so much with boundaries, and I really struggled with this talk thinking about it because there's, like I said earlier at the beginning, there's so much around boundaries right now. But I was really thinking, what are they about? And again, it's not about excluding others, but it's about including myself. So let's make sure that this week we walk that talk and include ourselves and love ourselves more deeply. Because in this world of chaos, because I know my world, I just shared a little bit of what's going on, I know it's happening out there as well. You look at the political scene, you look at our own lives, you look at all the different things that are going on, and that chaos is all happening, that energy, so of course it's going to funnel down into our own world. So what can I do to set up my boundaries this week to walk in a path of peace, walk in a path of harmony and love? And that's what we're here for, to love, to be joy, as our first song, to wake up this morning and experience love, peace, and joy. How wonderful is that, right? To live that life full of expression. I sometimes pull a little card, and it said to me today, to live my soul, not my role. I know, I thought that was a pretty good one, right? So this is kind of focused. To live my soul, not my role. Not my role. And to live life to the fullest. Yeah. So let's take a breath. And know the truth. That there is one life, one love, one universal divine mind that is operating right here, right now. It is operating in, through, and as each person. So today I know that I am love expressed in this world. I know that each of you are love expressed in this world. That each of us are here to fulfill that purpose of our unique expression of the divine. We're here to bring joy and love and peace and harmony. that is the life of spiritual growth, of walking this path together, knowing that love prevails, that love conquers all. There is no fear unless I allow it to creep in. So today I uproot that fear and I replace it with love. I change my story, I change my mind, and I walk this path in love. So with these words, I'm so grateful for this teaching, for knowing of this truth, and for each person in this world that shows up in my life to help me along my evolution of spiritual growth. I know that right now, right here, each one of you has a place in my heart. And I allow that love to flow out freely and easily at all times. So with that, in closing, letting these words go into that law of mind that always says yes, that right action is already happening, I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is. And I'd like to bring back Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Needed to hear that after I spent 7 days with my 4 sisters a couple weeks ago. So there was some triggering going on. So this is a song called Get Out of the Way. It's my favorite Eddie Watkins Jr. song. So I'm going to invite you to sing along during the chorus. Okay. Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way. Yeah, get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do its thing. Oh, you look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do its thing. Take it away, amen. Oh, the sun is gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up and see if it's growing. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do its thing. So here's where your part comes in. Get out of the way. 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 You guys sound good. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do its thing.
Okay. I think I'm good. Can you hear me okay? All right then. Thank you. Get out of the way. Jazzy. And I love those notes. That's awesome. And I noticed, Michelle, that you did something really exciting. I follow her on Facebook, so I can't help myself. The ukulele thing, what was that?
So I have a ukulele group, and we play at senior centers. So on Friday we played at the Kent Street Senior Center. There's 5 of us
That's
that
where you
play the
were.
ukulele together. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a wonderful thing to do and so fun. So thank you. Okay, so I'm Sandy Seymour, and I am the board president, as most of you know. But we do have some new people here and some almost new people. So, and so what I wanted to do was basically to say, I really hope that you have enjoyed the service today and that you do have an opportunity, getting right into the announcements, to carry on, because we have, right after the service today, what we call Sunday Conversations. It's a monthly thing that we do that is led by our practitioners. And today we're going to be doing a deeper dive into today's topic. I don't know about any of you, but boundaries tend to be a bit of an issue for me. So I really hope that you'll join us and get to know us a little bit better. It's a great opportunity to do that. Excuse me. And the next thing that's happening, this is not quite in chronological order, but mostly. So if you look at the whiteboard over there, we have the evening sacred circle, which is going to be on Tuesday this week. That's with our practitioner, Rev Daniel. And it's at 7 p.m. and you can join that on Zoom. You have to register online to get the Zoom link. Okay. And next week is our regular monthly potluck. So remember to bring your favorite dish, or remember to eat your favorite dish when you're here. And what do we have next? Oh, yes. Oh, what was that? Oh, I can never say this, djembe drumming with Master Quasi. And so that is something that happens also monthly, and it will be after the potluck next week. Normally it's the last Sunday, but this month it's going to be the third Sunday. So if you have done it before, I'm sure you're probably going to come again because it's a really fun time. And if you haven't, give it a try. And the next thing is the prosperity workshop. Oh my goodness, I have been waiting for this. Okay, so this morning I do a spiritual reading every day, and I have 2 little books that I tend to read a message out of. So the first one was about lack and limitation. And so it's like a 365. So it was today's message, and I thought, okay, this is interesting because it's kind of up for me right now. And then I picked up my other little book, opened it up randomly, and it was about lack and limitation. And I'm going, okay then, there's a message here for me. And so this workshop is with Eric O'Dell, and that's why I'm so excited, because I know him from many years back. He's an excellent presenter. He's also going to be a speaker on that Sunday, but do stay. Oh my goodness. He has so much wisdom, so much energy, so much humor. He makes you laugh all the time, even on things like prosperity. It's amazing. So so I do hope that you'll sign up for that one, and that also is online. So you can go onto our website, register for it there, and it's a mere $20. So I just can't tell you how important it is to me to participate in this, and I'm hoping to have a really good group join me there. And I think that's not quite it. Oh yes, save the date. So June 1st, we're having what we did call a town hall. We're now calling a community dialogue. And that's going to be an opportunity for us to talk about who we are, what we want, what we love about who we are, and what we want more of, and maybe what we want less of. Just basically, it's a conversation to gain some traction on being more. I'm just going to say more. So that's on June 1st, and it'll be after the service. So thank you, and I'm done.
Thank you, Sandy. So true. Yeah. Eric is an amazing presenter, and he's going to be doing a workshop with our board the day before as well. So we're so fortunate to have him come up. He was the minister. Actually, he was trained by Reverend Terry, and he was the minister at the Ballard Center for Amazing Grace. And they ended up within 2 years buying their own building. Yeah, I know, right? So he's a powerful manifester for sure. So as we're talking about prosperity and joy, now is our time that we get to participate in the law of circulation, in that place where we acknowledge our gratitude for this loving community. And it's if it feels right for you, I ask you to take whatever gift that you'd like to give our center today, or know that you're giving it to yourself as well, and hold it to your heart. And maybe it's just your time, maybe it's your volunteering, maybe it's your talent, but just know a specific good for yourself right now. And I encourage you to know a specific good for the Center for Spiritual Living White Rock. And let's take it that one step further, and let's know a specific good for the world. So I ask you to join me in our prosperity affirmation. I'll get you to repeat after me. With a grateful heart, I joyfully and mindfully give, knowing that abundance flows through us, and our community thrives as I share, is I know I am blessed. And so it is. So I'd like to invite our ushers up and to pass the baskets here in person and online. There's lots of ways for you to donate. And please take a joy note out for yourself when the basket comes by. Again, we want to operate in that law of circulation. And I think Michelle and Eamonn are going to sing for us. Well, I know Michelle is.
Yeah, I'm actually going to, since we don't have the words up, I'm just going to say these words of our offering song, and then we'll sing it together. But I just want you to really take in the words of this song. And it's, I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. And as I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. And I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everyone else, I know that all that I give to myself. So, anyway. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. One more time. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. knowing my oneness with everything else. I know that all that I give to myself. I know that all that I give to myself.
Yay! Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you. Those are fabulous words. Who wrote that?
That's a song by Jack Fowler.
Jack Fowler. Wow, fabulous. So for our online people, your joy blessing today is this day is a gift. I receive it gratefully and lovingly. Nice. It is that gratitude. So I take a moment with our practitioners here today as we bless these gifts that each person has given with so much love. So knowing these gifts make a difference in this center, in the community of CSL White Rock, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, as we circulate through and know that today is a wonderful day. I let it go, I let it be, and ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yay. She's
Oh,
she
yeah. You, the girl that was singing and dancing.
yeah. So if you haven't met, these are two of our wonderful practitioners, Diane and Jill. They're a team. They are a comedy team as well as an inspirational team. They're actually going to be leading the talk today afterwards, the conversation. So they're super insightful, but if you need prayer today, please grab one of them, or we have a prayer box in the back where you can write out a prayer, and then we will add you to our prayer list today. And I'm also available for prayer after service for a bit. So if you are wanting to up-level your life, or you're struggling with something, or again, if you just want something a little more good, let us know, and we can definitely do a prayer for you. So... And, oh, yes, our online people, you have our wonderful practitioner, Georgia, and just message her, and she'll put you in a breakout room, and from there, she can do prayer with you. So if everybody wants to stand for our closing affirmation, I'll get you to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing
It's this thing
called life.
called love.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called unity.
It's this thing called unity.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I express it.
I express it.
I am it.
I am it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And I'll turn it over to Michelle for our final song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Thank you, Michelle and Eamonn. You guys are such a fabulous duo. I love it when you're here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Stay for our conversations after. So good to see everybody, and happy Mother's Day. Enjoy the sunshine. Your desk. Our mom dogs as well. Our dog mom. Thank you, everyone.